Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about Match Me Abroad, Season 1, Episode 3, Find Me a Find. I have to sing the little song. They're naming these episodes after that song, Matchmaker, Matchmaker. So we're on Find Me a Find. I'm pretty sure next week will be Catch Me a Catch. I never really cared much about the title of the episodes of anything I watched, really. Anyways, we start off with Harold. He's meeting up with Katerina to talk about what he has in store for the day. He's ready to just jump right in and go on all these dates, and she is setting him up on a date with the kind of woman that he says that he wants, tall, blonde, specifically blonde. And she kind of says the same thing that Juan said, where she said she doesn't match people. First, she's going to match him with what he wants, and if that doesn't work out, it's going to move to what he needs. So I feel like the matchmakers set them up on first dates as like a test to feel everybody out. Not sure how this is going to go. She described her as very good looking, attractive, peaceful kind of attitude. And Harold goes in a little bit about how it's difficult dating on the spectrum. He always wanted to have conversation and listening and all that to people. But it's hard for him. He just doesn't know what to say sometimes. And it's hard for him to focus and pay attention. Here's to hoping he can do that on the date. She says they're going to go paddle boarding. So that'll be fun to see. It's been a while since your girl went paddle boarding. If ever. So I'm excited to watch that. Hopefully it goes well. I'm rooting for Harold. Moving on to Stanika and Nina. She's bringing her on her first date. His name is Noradine. I hope I said that right. We ended the last episode with them walking up to him, and he seemed like a good-looking guy. So they start walking, and he says, well, I'm a tour guide. So what better for him to do on their date than take her on a tour? Which seemed pretty cool, actually. He was real knowledgeable. So they're walking, and he's telling her all this stuff about Morocco, and they go into a shop, and I believe it's a tea shop. They have lots of awesome spices, and the guys there do the fancy tea pour that they do there. I have no idea what any of this is called, so if you want to let me know. I think it's cool. So she's tasting it. It's pretty strong, so there was that. And I loved how Nina kind of just, sat back and she was behind them. But at one point, Stanika reaches over and gives her flowers. Like, oh, hold these. While she was taking a drink. That made me laugh because she's like the chaperone / flower holder. But they keep walking after that, and everyone can tell they're hitting it off. So we cut to the interview with Nina, and she explains she knows when to fall back, and they're really hitting it off, and she's glad. She doesn't think that, she's needed anymore at this point. So she says her goodbyes, and Stanika was okay with that. She seems to like him. She's excited. There was a thing when she was talking. She goes, I'm a real estate agent, or I'm a photo booth, something or another. I thought she said she was a real estate agent before. And now she runs a photo booth. I don't know. Maybe they'll clarify that later. But that's where we kind of leave them. They're having a good time on their date. Now we get some fresh meat. There's a new man this episode. His name is Mark. He's 44, lives in Arizona. He seems very friend and family oriented, and he's ready to have a life partner and start having kids and settle down. He feels like it's getting too late for him or something. They show a little scene with him playing with a cute, adorable little baby. And he just seems like Uncle Mark, hanging out. So he decides he's going to go to Morocco to find a wife. And when they said Morocco, I thought, I bet his matchmaker is Nina, because it's Morocco, right? Sure enough, it was. So I think TLC is pretty smart here, because I think they just found the matchmakers first and asked them for some clients. And they just filmed Osama and Debbie in Morocco. They're always in Colombia. They're in these places. It's pretty smart, I think. Put everyone to work. Why not? So he flies to Morocco. Nina starts talking about how he's a frat boy in a 44-year-old man's body. And when she first said that, I thought, well, that's not very nice. These people are real judgy of their clients, right? Well, come to find out she was right, because the next part, he's talking to someone who works for Nina, and she's explaining the rules in Morocco. Once again, an American person who didn't look up any customs to the place he was going. He just, thought the women were attractive, things like that. So he finds out there's no kissing in public. You're not going to stay in the same hotel. You can't even hold hands. There's no physical intimacy allowed. He's like, or I'll go to prison. She's like, well, pretty much, He is really taken aback by this, and he seems upset. And all I was thinking was, this man thought he was going to go get a matchmaker, get set up on dates, and smash his way through Morocco until he found the one he wanted to bring to America. Something like that. He seems like those uptight, stuck up, better than thou type of person. From that last 2 or 3 minutes, I heard him complain about how he's never had a relationship without physical intimacy. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's all he's looking for. Shallow. Maybe, you should be friends. Get to know someone. Go on a couple dates. Is that so terrible? So, can't wait to see where that goes. They move on to Nathalie. I'll say it right. Nathalie, and she is flying to Colombia. She's excited. She gets off the plane. She just starts trying to talk to everyone, but no one speaks English, and she took Spanish in high school, but she had forgotten what she learned. She's trying to exchange money. That lady doesn't speak English. I was wondering if Juan is the matchmaker, where's Juan number 2 to pick her up like they did for Susan? Anyways, eventually she makes her way outside, and Juan number 2 is there. And he's packing up the car, and she gets in, and they're making small talk. And this man asks her, why is she here? He doesn't work for the matchmaking service and, picked her up for him. She says she's here to see cute boys. That's It's the priority list. Cute boys. And he's like, oh yeah. She gets to go meet her matchmaker, Juan. And he tells her, she needs to loosen up. And I agree, everyone should a little. He takes her to a salsa class, and they're dancing, and it's really uncomfortable for her with her Sri Lankan background. Her mom definitely would not approve of the way she was dancing. And Juan is saying this is part of the culture in Colombia, so there's a high chance her dates are going to be dancing and things like this. Like I said, I don't remember him putting... Is her name Susan or Nicole? Oh my gosh. The blonde lady with the dog. I don't remember him taking her dancing or any of that. But I think he caters to each client and what they need. Or he's trying to come to America and broaden his matchmaking empire. We'll see what happens. Circling back to Stanika and Noradine. They're still on their tour guide date. It's still going really well. They're chatting it up. He tells her that his friend has the best goat head street food booth in the county, or, city, and they proceed over there, and they have a lovely assortment of cooked goat heads there, so that's great. Not something I would partake in, personally. I'm very picky. Anywho, she's a trooper. They sit down, she tries it, she says it's alright or good. I can't remember, it was hard to watch for me. I'm a little squeamish. So, let me know what you think. Would you have tried it? Most people, probably would have. A little more adventurous than me. They keep talking. He keeps bringing up wanting to see her again. He says he has some VIP tours the next day. So hopefully, she'll wait for him. That's a little unreasonable. And she says, I'm only here 3 weeks, so maybe I'll see you, maybe I won't. I don't know. He does ask for her phone number, and she gives it to him, so we'll see where it goes. She says he checks all the boxes. Standards are up here now for her next date. These two are cute. I like them. I'm not sure that he's going to be the one. It's her first date ever, so the feeling has to be pretty, giddy and excited. And the next one, she'll probably get more of that. We'll have to wait and see. We finally get to Susan. Her name's Susan. Meeting up with Juan. She's ready to give him the business about Miguel from the last date. She was not impressed. And Juan is like, well, what's wrong? He was financially stable, likes to travel. He had all the qualities she wanted. She's like, well, he's an arrogant ass, though. Excuse me. And he's telling her she's not as open as she thinks she is. Or, he's saying that in the interview. So, anyways, he's telling her about her next date. His name's Carlos. He's not as financially stable as Miguel. She looked a little iffy on that. I think it's because she makes a lot of money, so she wants someone who makes as much or more than her, which is fine, but sometimes it's not like that when it comes to who you love. So, he also says Carlos is younger. Then she said, how younger? Just younger. I'm sure he's not 22. Now that I said that, he probably will be. And he's also a musician. She looked very iffy about that too. Not sure she has a lot of faith in this. But she does say she traveled all this way, so she's going to trust in Juan and his process. So hopefully her and Carlos hit it off. I don't think it could be any worse than the last date with Miguel, so it's only up from here, girl. What do you guys think? Is Carlos going to be a lot better? Worse? Let me know. Ending out the show with probably the most awkward, horrendous date I've ever seen. Poor Harold. He gets to paddleboarding. The girl is there. And they get in the boat. Immediately she hates his Hawaiian shirt. This man has the Hawaiian shirt with the American suspenders combo, which he's repping his hood, that's cool. But she wasn't feeling it. She's like, I enjoy bad boys. I'm looking for a bad boy who's reformed, is what I got out of it. They start paddleboarding, and poor Harold is trying to make conversation. It was very bland. I don't know if she understood him or they just couldn't hear each other well. But everything he would say, he would have to repeat. She didn't understand, which is fine. But I feel like he was very anxious, so having to repeat himself probably didn't help. At one point, it gets a little cringy. Of course it gets cringy. Why wouldn't it? He says he wants someone he can be, like, friends with, and he doesn't know how else to say, like, great lovers as well. Chemistry in the bedroom. He's like, hopefully, we hit it off. We can be real sexually, whatever the word is. And she's like, huh? It's like, we could be like friends and real sexual. I don't think she wanted that or was thinking of that. Poor guy. Then he moves on to talk about how he's more for, like, the woman's pleasure. And she's like, good, I'm more for my pleasure too. It just seemed like another thing that didn't click. So finally, this awful paddle boat ride comes to an end. And he's, want to hang out tonight? And she's like, no, I have a dog. I gotta wash my hair. I have to cut the grass on my lawn with the scissors. There's a lot going on. And he's like, oh, well, could I maybe have your number? We could go out again. She's like, oh, no. She's like, well, how about I give you mine? You can call me if you want. And she's like, if I want to call you, I can find you. I have a superpower. I find people. Means he's never going to hear from her again. She ends with her interview saying she, like, wasn't attracted to him. And, that's that. He's a little disappointed. But he still has hope because he got a date with one beautiful blonde girl. I'm sure Katerina can find him another, right? His interview outfit, the suspenders and the black bow tie, I love it. I don't think he should have worn jeans to paddle boating. There was a lot going on there. But I think, he could fix it, and he should still be himself. I'm interested to continue to watch him. I hope that there's someone out there who understands him, even if it's not on this trip. That would be nice. So, that's the end of this week's episode. I kind of do it in, like, sections that I watch. It's easier for me to remember what's happening. But if you would like me to combine each couple into one, watch the whole episode and do it that way, I could sure try. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, like it, subscribe, and, let me know what you think. Thank you. Bye.